Live. Okay, here we go. So there's 9 people right now. Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you are excited to talk about Splinterlands and maybe some, who knows, Splinter Forge, Golem Overlord, and we're hanging out with Jim, the Alpha Gamer, as I saw already in the chat. Jim, Animation Station goes, there's Jim being all alpha by dropping the first comment, I guess, hey? And
oh yeah.
Jim, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. A little tired, but you know, it's worth it.
It's been at least 7 days. Maybe I don't even know if we hooked up last week, so maybe it's been like 10, 12 days. So I'm glad you're able to come hang out today and check in and talk Splinterlands and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
be a good stream.
Definitely. Guys, as you're coming in, I see there's 9 of us already. Drop a comment so I know who's out there, and also just got any questions you want to address today? Let's get into it. There was a big town hall, some interesting stuff talked about in there. There's tons of things I'm excited about. I just did like an hour-long video yesterday with Gathering the Magic, and we talked about card prices. We talked about the future of Splinterlands. We talked about Splinter Forge, Golem Overlord. We talked about I feel like there was a ton of things. Land, we got into land. So I mean, we are probably weeks away from a lot of new things, really. Like, I mean, the mini set, which is still sounding like it's deferred, that partnership still, the quote unquote movie, right? I don't think it's they talked about it again yesterday in the town hall, or yesterday, and they said that like the mini set and with an unknown movie studio, it says aggroed. So there's just like a lot of things in the maybe near future that are potentially, if not exciting today, like I think ultimately exciting for the very near future.
Yep. This is definitely a great time to be here, but it's also a scary time to be here.
Totally. I saw yesterday SPS, where were they?
Oh
Down.
My goodness, it's at 2.2 cents.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
2.2. Are we going to go down below 2? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions. I mean, I wasn't selling at 3. I'm not going to sell at 2. The question really is like, can I muster any extra coin and snag a little more? But I'm pulling in like about 1,000 a day or something right now. It feels like, I don't know if that's exactly true. Let's have a peek at this. I mean, this is not entirely representative, I don't think. I don't see any nightmare. I have nightmare rewards. I have land rewards. Maybe I just claimed and I didn't. Well, yeah, I guess I did claim this morning, but it was about 1,000. And so I'm wondering if that's my everyday or if that's like every other day. Cause I don't necessarily pay attention to how often I claim, but yeah, I'm up to 107, almost 1,000. And, I definitely have no interest in lowering that number, even though part of me wants to, lower it so I can get other things. Jim, you were talking about looking at maybe getting some more. What's like a number in your mind for SPS that you'd eventually, I don't know, do you have any goals for SPS, like short, medium, long term, that you'd want to reach?
I think my first goal is 500,000. I'd love to hit 500,000, but I guess kind of long term would be 1 mil, and eventually I'd love to have 1 billion SPS.
Whoa. Yeah, I guess if we're putting wish lists together, 500,000 is only 11 grand, and I'm not saying that's nothing, but doesn't that sound like actually attainable?
Yeah.
$11,000. And
especially when you look at our card collection. Well, yours is a lot higher than mine.
$11,000. Wow. I mean, yeah, like I've got like $60,000, $60,000 worth of cards, and I don't want to sell $10,000 worth of my card assets. But if I was to, I could by 3, 4, 500,000 SPS. That's such a crazy reality. I'm down to 52,000 on my owned cards. And just the other day I did an assessment of this, and I'm going to try and do like a weekly and just check in with my alpha, my beta, my promo, my reward, line by line, to try and track and see how certain cards are maybe going up and others are maybe going down. My total number seems to be definitely trending downward at this moment, and over the last, let's say, 4 weeks, I'm going to say. Richard, thanks for popping by, buddy. Hi, Dwayne. Started playing 18 months ago and I built a solid silver deck. I'm concerned what SPS I will need when SPS staking comes in for battles. Do you know what we need for each league?
We have no clue, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've spoken about this, and I feel like the tone has changed. I think maybe initially there was some significant targets that are probably, I think they're probably pulling back from a little. Nothing was ever made crystal clear. It was kind of spoken about. I might even be getting a little confused because it might be community members, YouTube content creators that have spoken about this speculatively, that I'm now kind of remembering as if it were a fact. And that's always the tricky thing, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching most of the content on Splinterlands on YouTube daily. Like every like I'm in there all the time. And I'm enjoying that stuff, and I'm learning from the different creators. And now I don't know where this comes from, but I have it in my mind that somebody had suggested that looking at the events window, and honestly, it could have been me, which is the funny thing. Like, I'm like quoting myself maybe, but this is not confirmed. But I think it was me. I was just looking at essentially what Silver League SPS requirements are based on a tournament. And, you're looking at 4,000. No, you're looking at required. Is that 100 plus? So all you need is 100 for this tournament. That's a modern event, and a very small amount of power. That's shocking for like silver, to be honest to me. But this might be something to look at, is what I'm saying. Like, if you needed some sense of what you want to build toward or aim at, and if you come in and you look at specifically the ones that are SPS tournaments, because then you're getting Splinterlands expectations set before you. So this one right here, isn't this? Yeah, it's an SPS tournament hosted by Splinterlands. And so look, they're setting out 9,000 staked SPS for a gold league event. I don't think there's a line in the sand exactly at 9,000. I'm saying this might be an aim long term. And I do know for a fact that they've stated in town halls, they used to think you'll need X amount. And that is like the line in the sand that you'll need to have equal to or greater than. Otherwise you won't earn. That was almost the initial suggestion. And then they had said in further town halls, more recent town halls, it's actually going to be more of a, the more you have, the better you are. So if you have some, you'll get some reward. And if you have more, you'll get more reward up to a certain threshold, which will be like your optimized amount. So what are those numbers? We don't know. But, if you look at the tournaments that are specifically from Splinterlands, you might get some idea of what they would be expecting and wanting to see. How much on average are you guys pulling in from TNA 1 and X for SPS per brawl? So TNA 1, I probably can pull this up maybe. How do I do this? I'd go in here. I need to go into my currency activity. I may or may not be able to see this. Merits. Okay, so on 3 days ago, May 6th, for brawl participation, I received 7,995 merits. And so then that's my day, May 6th. So then SPS, okay, brawl participation. No, that's not right. That can't be Definitely didn't get 7,000 SPS for Brawl participation. Okay. So, May 6th. The heck? I don't see it, which is funny because I'm pretty sure it's around 150. It's approximately 150 is what I'm getting per win. And last time, it's too late to go check because the new brawl is already up. But the last time we finished in, I think, second or third, and yeah, 7,000 merits, which is like a good amount of, like, that's 3. Go shop. Let's go see how many I've got. That's a good amount of packs, right? Guild. And then look at this, like, yeah, 9,000 merits, like this week, essentially, from chests and that one guild brawl, which is another 4, I think, Gladius cases, which is great. Plus, yeah, I think about 150 to 170 SPS per win or whatever. Jim, how are you guys doing?
Well, I haven't done a brawl in a little bit. I know that some people have been doing all right, you know, some better than others, but the total amount, I think we've been getting around 33 SPS.
And that's in number 3, right? Tier 3?
Yeah, the last one we just did was 31 SPS that we got. Previous was 29. One before that, 32, and then a 22. So, yeah, it floats around that number for us in Tier 3.
I mean, it's a big difference between Tier 3 and 4, but there's a gigantic difference in the performance level too. I have a pretty significant deck, and I need to rent some heavy hitter cards, and I have to spend I probably spend 5,000 DC every brawl in order to rent certain key cards. Did the Splinterlands just freeze? Let's have a peek at this.
Plane's breaking stuff.
Yep. There we go. Nope. Looks like it's maybe thinking, but that's okay. Let's see. I'm seeing more comments. Thanks, guys. Good to see you, Eli. Thanks for popping by. Gregory, how you doing? Dragon. Wouldn't it be better if the yield is higher if we stake SPS than if we keep it in a pool with Hive? Wouldn't it be better if the yield is higher if we stake SPS? Oh, I see. Than if we keep it in a pool with Hive. Well, you have to remember that if these are just free market questions. Like, it's a free market, right? So you have a choice within a free market to either choose to stake it within the game or take it and set it aside and put it into a liquidity pool, and the profits and the opportunities and the benefits and the cons of each are going to be different. So if you stake X amount of SPS in game, you're going to have certain rewards from that, including eventually like battle rewards. Versus if you put it into a liquidity pool, you're not going to have access to those in the same way. But maybe there's outsized returns that are being better over there. And so then you're kind of saying, well, shouldn't we make it so that it's more expensive to put it in game? Well, who's paying that cost? Are we saying that we want to print more SPS to reward people at a higher degree to just keep it within the game? That's like a controlled economy suggestion. Like, you're trying to, instead of let the free market decide where the SPS lands based on the rewards that are available, we want to augment the rewards, and in order to incentivize a certain type of staking. And I don't know that makes a lot of sense. In fact, I don't even know that it would be permissible within the context of the white paper and how, the rewards are laid out for SPS staking. I think that would be the barrier to what you're suggesting. Vilson, good to see you. Battle Beast, hey. Icy, thanks for popping by. Eli says, where is the SPS staking for ranked on the roadmap? For ranked. on the roadmap? I actually don't know. I don't know where it is in terms of the progress or whatnot, but we know that they've already initiated the ability to stake SPS on another account. Jim, you were talking about that yesterday when we were on call. Would you do you look forward to being able to I don't know, find I don't even know what to call them. It's almost like they would be scholars.
SPS delegationees.
Yeah. And like finding those people that are going to be excellent and they're going to make good use of your SPS, like is that like a near, let's say short to medium term intention of yours, or will you just stake in game for the staking rewards, or what do you imagine you'll do when that time comes?
I think towards the start, I would want to, help out guild members and then also help out other people in the community to let them be getting the most possible rewards. But if I wanted to take a route of, how can I maximize my overall SPS increase? Finding those people that are just putting in so much more work and don't already have a lot of SPS on them, I might have to take away from some other people to put on, the people that are doing even better. But I don't think it would just be like, oh, I'm going to take the best people that I know and put it all on them.
Yeah.
I still want to give back to the community a little bit with the SPS, and then I'm still, earning some rewards as well. Helping them, helping myself, helping the overall health of the game.
Definitely. Stack permitting, I would like to, maybe I can do like ongoing delegations as like a in-game, like as a YouTube thank you. When we do these lives, maybe it's like I'll have to think this through, but it'll depend on the stake requirements. Like if we need in the chat, and further to the earlier conversation, Icy was suggesting that maybe it's 10K to get for silver to get max rewards. And again, we don't know for sure. Plus, I do think if it is 10K, like 5 will be maybe that'll be substantial in and of itself. And so we need to really see the exact math on that before I can answer the question that I'm posing for myself. But what I'm saying is I have 100,000. Hopefully one day I'll have a million. My intention would be that I would be able to, like you just said, stake on others for like to represent and say thank you for the certain community people. And then maybe it's through contests and stuff like that. But if it's 10,000 at silver, I'm going to imagine it's 100K at champion and maybe more. And so the next question really ends up being, do I even have enough SPS for myself? I don't know the answer to that yet.
Oh, no, I don't. I need more.
Where are you at now?
I am at 165K. But I think I'll be getting a lot more soon.
Yep.
A lot more soon.
Interesting. Nice. Thanks for being recruiting disclaimer. This one. Jetto, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping by.
Jetto.
You're not brawling. It's so fun.
Is that the Jetto?
It is the Jetto. I'm not brawling. Icy says we get 50 to 120 SPS in T3. Wow, that's
they're probably doing extremely well.
Yeah, that's a strong performance. Dwayne, the SPS in the last brawl will be in the tavern. Roger. So a peek at that. The guilds. Tavern. Okay, Skeeter. May system. Okay. The guild has won spoils of 149 crowns. Also, each fully participating member was awarded 7,000 merits and 141 SPS. That's great. I didn't know that. I didn't know it showed it there as a system note. That's great. So yeah, 140 SPS times, call that like times 52, because that's pretty close to average what we get. 140 times 52, 7,000 for relatively free SPS a year, plus 7,000 merits times 7,000 merits times 52. Wow, divided by 2,000, I think. 182 gladiator packs a year. And I do. It sounds like we're probably never ever going to see gladiators be transferable. From what I've kind of gleaned about what's stated about that, but still, I really like them, and I'm finding. Actually, let's talk about this for a minute, Jim. I've been I've been really enjoying using these new summoners that enable gladiators and rank battle brawls.
Okay.
Um, I want to see if I have some battles here. There's one as a loss. Let's see. I have been winning with it, even though I've only got gold league summoners. Yeah, that's the only one on the window here. But I've been it has been working with Loblo. Let's watch this one. Even though my summoner is only level 6, meaning equipped for essentially gold, and I'm fighting at diamond. But my opponent was underfunded too. But the thorns, like Mylor, man, you cannot, like, the number of times where it's melee only, and I see my opponent just happens to have a perfect Mylor, like melee only or super sneak or anything, any condition where the melee gets preeminence is just, such a obvious pick for the Mylor. But I'm using Titania, and I'm also enjoying really using the double strike melee. I forget its name right now. It's a green monster, and it does double strike sneak. Look at the, like, got the Inspire over here with the Thane, got the Inspire over here with the Orc Sergeant. There's also 2 other Inspires that you can use, and this one doesn't work out, but look at that, too, the Enrage with the 8 bomb. Oh,
that was actually a really big miss.
Yeah, it was. There's more than one really big miss. My Hail Giant missed the Spirit in the first round. Would have killed it. Like, this could have gone the other way, even though, but with the thorns, just too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really enjoying playing the gladiators, and I have had success, even though that one didn't work out. And even though my things are way under leveled, they are currently gladiator. No, not gladiator. Rewards. So I have Loblo at level 6, rare. I have Franz at level 6, and I have Helios at level 6. And I'll use Helios to bring out like any other splinter I want, which is rad. The +1 speed also is pretty solid. I wonder if anybody in chat, are you guys using those summoners? Have you reached the levels that you need for your area, for whatever league you're fighting in? I'm finding it's a real game changer. Like I said, underpowered, but still winning, I would say 60% of the time.
Well, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
60%?
I think so. I mean, I haven't officially tracked it. I should make a devoted video about this. I should track it over like a week and see how many battles I get, and then what the total wins versus losses are. The numbers that fly around for SPS requirements was in the white paper, but now it's not there. I think they removed it because, again, they had originally thought X and later decided that was probably it wasn't accurate, it wasn't adequate, or was it too far? And so they're tweaking things. And they've said, you've probably remember hearing them say things like, we're not just going to stick to it because we wrote it down. We're going to try and do it right. And they've said that about a couple things. And I think SPS and the staking requirements is part of that. Fiends are under $3. Fiends are under $3 maximum now. Man, the Fiends are definitely a card that everybody needs to have, and one day they will no longer be so easily available. What are they? Let's see these. And because they're legendary too, they're even, right? Like okay, there is 33,000 of the Fiends. Probably, I assume, 33,000. So,
Yeah,
but still,
that's so cheap.
these were selling.
$33.
Man, they were selling for so much before. Hey, I mean, I think I remember double digits at least. This
Wow.
these are ones like, I know this gold foil is a high ticket, but man, the 0 mana and the 10% bonus, it's great when you can get these low mana ones that are there for with that gold foil. Tough, good to see you, man. Thanks for popping by. The one, the only.
The tough boy.
I saw a tournament with Tough. Well, I didn't watch it or anything, but I saw like on YouTube, or I saw on Twitter that Tough, I guess, was repping the US, and then there was a Japanese like affiliate, like a squad of like American Splinterland players entering into some sort of friendly tournament with, I think, some of the best Japanese players. I think I saw that on Twitter. If there was any content for that DTF, I'd love to have a link or be able to figure out where I'd love to see those battles, because all I saw on Twitter was this is happening, or it did happen, and I didn't get to see any of the actual fights. Wilson, at 50K myself, next goal 100. Man, 100 is a big number. When I rounded 100 the first time, I was celebrating. I posted it. I ended up selling a bunch of it to get Rift Watcher packs, and I think three of the validator nodes. But man, 100K is no joke. And right now it might feel, it's funny because I have 100,000, and the US dollar value is so trivial on that. In some sense, it feels like, oh, whatever, I'll deal with it later if I want more, because it's inexpensive. When the price is down, it's two things happen. One, it's actually really inexpensive to fill your bags, but two, no one wants to fill their bags because they're like, oh, it's going down, it's always going down, it's always going to go down. There's like this pessimism that weighs on us and prevents us from just going ahead and dollar cost averaging, or taking that bite that we've told ourselves for months or years that we want to do. Now it's here, now it's available, now it's cheap. And it's cheap because in part many of us are just like waiting to see how low it goes. And we might, I mean, myself included, might just end up missing like what ends up being the true bottom. I don't know. It almost has to be on a cost basis. I imagine that it will be some sort of sliding scale. Yeah, that's going to be true, because what happens when SPS goes to 30 cents or 75 or $1? I love this optimism from Aros. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you needed 100,000 SPS to compete at champ, and simultaneously SPS was $1? You know,
there's no way.
Yeah.
That's absolutely absurd.
You think they'll make?
Or it will be absurd.
Yeah, factually, when that transpires. But so then, do you think they'll do a US dollar kind of target, Jim? Like they'll just say, we need $500 with SPS to compete at gold, or something like that?
I could definitely see flat dollar amount. I don't know if they'll take that route. It makes more sense in the long term. You know, because if it's like, you know, off chance SPS goes to $500, you know, or $250, we'll say, and you need $500 worth to play in Diamond. Well, now you just buy 2 SPS and you're set. Yeah. To where if it was like, oh, you need 500 SPS in order to do it, but SPS is at $250. Well, now it's a completely different big number that next to no one's going to be able to play that. Yeah. I love how you're like, well, if it gets to $500, you're like, no, that's not reasonable. What if it gets to $250? I wanted to give more than one token, so I cut it in half. $250 price point for SPS, and everyone in this chat is retiring. And then some. Yeah. What would that number be? Let me see. Like I honestly believe $2 is possible. But like I'm like something ludicrous. Like that's like
Yeah.
Dwayne, I'd have $41.25 million.
From this one bag. Like, forget about, if if the SPS is worth $500, I'm telling you the cards are moon shot. So it's like gold foil Rooney, gold foil Lux. Those aren't selling for nothing. They're
Those
changing.
aren't selling.
That's right. Um, but I do think that makes a lot of sense. But here's a criticism though about the idea. Okay, so are they going to price it like you need $500 to play in gold? You need 1,000 to play in, diamond. That's on one hand really logical, but a pushback or like a devil's advocate position on that would be, look, we like crypto is we many of us come to this space. We invest in cryptocurrency and we non-fungible tokens and blockchain based video games because we believe that there's a problem with the way fiat currency operates. And yet for us to come out and say you need these fiat targets is in some sense like to almost grab hold of the old broken system that most of us, if not all of us, agree is, we're trying to get away from it. And so there's something ironic about that, but at the same time I do see it as a logical sort of buoy or I don't know, aim. And maybe it could be a moving target. Maybe I think even his comment implies like it's a sliding scale, but you could also say a moving target where at some point it is 500 SPS and another point it's $500 or whatever the case may be. I wish I had enough SPS to play in Diamond Tourneys, been achieving Champ 2 for months now, and I don't nearly have enough funds to play that level, let alone pay for the SPS that I rent. Yeah, this is the thing, but soon, Eli, like I'm so certain that we're gonna have when the SPS delegation system is sort of unpacked properly. I think we have every reason to believe that there'll be a system through which Jim, Dwayne, people with big bags can say to guys like Eli, I see that you're capable, you've got a good, strong deck, and you win regularly, and you achieve high level success in the tournaments you do participate in. And I also see that there's, you lack the SPS to get in the door. So let me stake on you, and there'll be contractual sort of opportunities in the same way that Nifty Arcade, can delegate out full decks, or they can definitely delegate out the power associated with it in the very near future. I'm certain of that. Brandon, thanks for popping by, bud. We gotta have another chat soon. Eli Ross, how much SPS you need to do so? DM me in Discord. VetV, yep. Brandon's. Let's just say Brandon knows his way around Splinterlands. So, send him a message, Eli.
Yeah, I think it might be time to inform everyone
about what you're doing tonight, or the news.
What I'm doing Wednesday night.
Okay, yeah. The Wednesday. You got some big news you want to share with the people?
Yeah. I think it's time.
Okay, let's get into it.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Steve hit me up. Let me just go read that. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. All right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, I called Dwayne the other day, and it was a very important phone call. I let him know that I was retiring from Splinterlands TV. just the live streaming part. And that's Friday specifically, and Wednesday night is going to be my final stream there. So it's been a great time, and yeah.
Jim, end of an era, buddy.
End of an era. Yeah, I've been there for over a year, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a year and 2 months, something like that. And Jenna's saying no.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna be in. I'm still gonna be in Splinterlands. I think I'm gonna take a more passive route, and I guess it's gonna. I guess I'll just let them know. I'm planning on selling out.
These are so clickbaity phrases. Jim is selling out.
Selling out all my assets for SPS, so that way I can, give more to the people in the game when I delegate to them and earn more passive rewards.
I,
So,
I love how you like the space you intentionally left in every sentence, where it's like, just
it's
leave that little
it's
hanging.
it's like I've done this before. Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, it's been a great time. I hope everyone has a great Splinterlands journey, and yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds for me. I'm gonna be doing some other stuff in life, and I'm excited for it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Ivan says Rondon pension plan.
Rhonda vegetable.
And Elistios was, I like this suggestion. Jim, big news is that he bought more gold foil Rooney to merge them together. Can you imagine like burning gold foil Rooney to like consolidate? This one's got a prettier like weapon or
It
something.
doesn't make sense.
No.
All right. Unless we're talking about for the because you're able to merge them together for the land. So yeah, it would make sense.
Do they have? They must. I guess they have more power at that point, like more influence or more something.
Yeah, bigger PP.
Yeah, bigger, much bigger.
Yeah. So if you merge two gold foils together, it's 20,000. But if you merge a gold foil and a regular foil, you're looking at 11,000.
Oh, look at this, selling all the cards again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing it again, guys.
But you've just been growing and growing that SPS bag. Like this is like,
Yeah.
and Eli goes, thus the SPS whale Jimbo was born. But I would already say you're a whale. I know Steve's got. I actually, well, last I checked, I know Steve told me he had over 400 when Ruz came out,
Mm,
and
yeah.
you've got more than I do. And I mean, you just talked about how you what you're thinking, like, are you, where is like a reasonable, like in the near future, if this, like when this, if this truly does happen, if you make this move, like where do you think that's going to put you? Do you have you done that math?
It, yeah, I'll be over half a mil.
Oh, wow, what a big number.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'll be over the half a mil mark, and I I would love to get to 1 million. That would be great. But part of me wants to take out a little bit of money every now and again and just put it into something else because
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty deep into into this game. I got a lot of eggs in this basket,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I've talked in the past about diversifying your portfolio in this game of cards, SPS, packs, whatever else you can throw in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I really haven't been listening to my own advice
Mm-hmm.
because it's not just this game that you should be thinking about; it's other stuff as well.
Yep.
But you know, that's if you're looking at it in an investment point of view. And I'm pretty deep into the game. So some people you can go further. You're enjoying the game, you're enjoying
Mm-hmm.
the community, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Go further into it.
Mm-hmm.
Not financial advice uh, for anyone else other than myself.
Financial advice for me, I'm taking it as
Yes.
financial advice. But I mean, this is the
All
thing
right.
with, like, with all this stuff, it's like, look, you've got to figure this stuff out for yourself. You don't come to a YouTube channel with a guy who plays a video game and talks about it online to like look for your investment advice. But you should, hear my sincerity and maybe Jim's sincerity around what we see, and then ask yourself, what are the fundamental considerations that either support that confidence that apparently Jim has in SPS, or apparently Dwayne has in, packs and cards and whatnot, and are they wrong? Is Jim wrong? Is Dwayne wrong? And it's like, that's a battle every one of us has to have. Um,
Mm.
and if you're not, if you're not asking yourself, if you're not challenging yourself in that way, either because, like, if you've got investments of some nature and they're not here, like, I would be looking at whether that's a mistake. In the same way that, one, you have assets in here in this game, I am looking at whether I've had too much. Like you said, like, you want to take a little out. I sold my, I sold my kitty last year to go to Splinterfest. I sold,
Real quick,
yeah,
real quick. I know you said kitty, but it sounded like kidney.
no
You
body
sold
parts,
your kidney.
no body parts, just NFT collectibles. Yeah,
Okay.
no, and then recently sold the old Lux Vega, my last one, for 11 something, and that's helping pay for the renovations downstairs for my little girl's bathroom. And it's like,
Mhm.
so there's two sides of it. Either you're taking this seriously and you should ask, am I too deep? Or you're not taking this seriously and you should ask, am I overlooking something here? And you can't get that answer from, like, Dwayne says or Jim says, but you can look at our confidence and test that confidence with the fundamental considerations that are around us, like, how many players are there, you know how secure is SPS, what are the developers aiming at, how have they honored or met those targets in the past, or have they failed to meet targets and aims in the past. And all of that then should leave you with a degree of confidence, and that should dictate, never what Jim says or Dwayne says.
Mhm.
Lots of comments too. I saw a bunch of things I wanted to check in on, but before I do anything else, guys, do me a favor, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. And we've got 27 viewers, 18 likes. That's pretty solid, but let's try and round that up to a good 25 or so if we can. If you're enjoying the content, if you like the channel, if you enjoy what we cover here on Splinterlands. And yeah, thanks for hanging out today. I've got another hour and 15 minutes or so, and tons of things. Me and Jim made some notes we want to talk about. Jim, we talked about chibi dinos. We could get into that a little bit. We could talk about Invenium, maybe the new game modes, that were referred to in the town hall. But also, when we talk about new game modes, and you talked about diversification, I'm interested in even, like, speaking about Golem Overlord, and I'm still playing and collecting. I'm making about 22 parted every 8 hours, so 60 part a day times, 18 cents or something. It's not changing my life, but man, it's a diversification and I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
And this week, is it maybe tomorrow? I'm meeting with Gathering the Magic, and he's going to help me spend $50 on Splinter Forge to get plugged in a little deeper in this thing. Like, I've never spent anything on this thing. I'm going to spend $50 on it. Did you ever buy anything for Splinter Forge?
I didn't. I did actually look into it a little bit, but then I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
There's some really good cheap items that you can get and really buff up your character. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'm interested, man. Like, and talking to Gathering the Magic knows kind of some of the angles. If you guys don't already know his channel, you should. He covers Splinterlands. He covers NFT blockchain based games, Splinter Forge, Golem Overlord, and the way he talks about it is more from, like, that collectible card background. He used to play Magic, obviously, hence the name. But also he is more of that budget investor. And so he plays Splinter Forge with, like, he has like a $10 account that he bought for Splinterlands, and he loves playing. He fights in bronze, and he's used just the earnings that account plays in Splinter Forge to earn a bit of Forgium, which he sells to buy DEC, which he then uses to rent cards into. So it's this self-sufficient account, and he's using the cards he he's growing an account for $10. He's literally investing time and attention and enjoying the process and garnering a reward, but he's maximizing that return opportunity, not just through Splinterlands and the rank experience or maybe guilds or even event tournaments, but he's complementing or supplementing that income opportunity with thing, because it's one account. Once you've got those cards, you can use them in Splinterforge and double dip with your with your investment. So if he's going to help me walk through that later this week. And you know what, one more thing now that I'm thinking about as I talk about something, just I'm not sure why it came to mind, but Geeked Out Basketball is another content creator on YouTube covering Splinterlands related stuff. And if you don't know him, you should check him out too. The reason I bring him up in this context is because he's actually partnering with the channel. And if you guys watch the end credits on my videos, you'll see that Splinter Coach is like one of the channel sponsors now, and they're one of the members. And Splinter Coach is like a new partnership that you'll be learning more about in the next week or so, once like the official launch is available. We thought it would be May 1st, but it's gonna be middle of May here. But that's kind of an exciting new sort of opportunity for this channel and for Splinterlands people. It's gonna be a cool tool that I think we're gonna enjoy, and I'll certainly be walking through for you guys. More to come on that one, guys. More to come. What do you think? Where should we go? There's a kind of a laundry list of options. Should we get into Chiba Dinos, Invenium, new game modes? Anything else on your mind? Like what do you think, Jim?
I think we can go down the list.
Let's do it. Chibi.
I actually just pulled them up on OpenSea.
Did you? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Chibi Dinos.
I mean, I don't understand it, but it's something.
It's something. How's that for a shining endorsement? I don't understand it, but it's something. No, I agree.
Honestly,
though.
I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great I think on the surface, it isn't great. It's underwhelming, but I think you got to be more thoughtful than that. You can't so why do I say that? One, the volume, their audience is not like enormous, earth shattering, that kind of thing, but they have a different audience. And like we talked about before we went live, Jim, like we aren't paying them for a partnership. We're not doing work for them. We apparently the only work we're going to be doing is like 15 minutes of Matt essentially linking their token, setting it up so that it can be exchanged for credits. That's it. And then we're going to create this opportunity for a whole new environment of player to step in and trade their token for credits, and maybe then play Splinterlands and buy cards and whatnot. So it really is like a opportunity for Splinterlands, an opportunity for Chibi Dinos, no work for us, money in the bank, possible growth of our player base. Like how do we complain about this?
Yeah, it's not really a lose case scenario for us at all.
No. The maybe play is, Stever says the maybe play is buy a dino, play the game, earn hoop, use hoops to buy credits, buy cards, land, etc. It doesn't hurt hoop token to repeat. Yeah. Can you earn enough to cover the NFT is the question. The Eros, the way I look at it is they're partnered with Splinterlands, so I'm going to support the project because ultimately what's good for them is good for us and vice versa. I agree. Yeah, I agree. But I also love that it's actually really low stakes from us. I think we all needed to know more about this. Hey, the town hall was very illuminating. It really set the record straight. People were saying things, oh, this is going to take too much time. And the developers we want this and we want that. And there was so much complaining. And I didn't say anything about it because I didn't have enough information. I just said, what I knew was I had seen like one YouTube, I had seen on Twitter, I followed them on Twitter, and I found like one video and I was like, oh, like, is it like a basketball thing? That was it. That was all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if that looks cool, but I didn't have enough to understand properly what that was going to mean or what it was going to look like. This is what I saw, this little clip there, and
It looks pretty cute.
it does. It looks like NBA Jam with NFTs that you probably earn and trade and train and whatever. So
Yeah.
it looks okay. I'm interested. I like recently, you guys know I've been getting into Golem Overlord. Like I just said, I'm going to be branching into Splinter Forge a little bit, see what I can do over there. I am going to be willing to and interested in, like Steve said, putting maybe a little bit of money on the table and seeing, and like Aero says, like support this project, because it's this partnership where we can scratch one another's backs here, and our communities can benefit from partnership. And then if this goes well, like what might it mean down the road? Hey, that's the cool, exciting thing. Icy says the hoop token has 10x the volume that SPS has, surprisingly. Wow, that's kind of cool. Where can we see? Let's see. Can you see on?
Yeah, what would that be on?
Primal Hoop. Is that it? Chibi Dinos Hoop.
Chibi Dinos, that's probably it. 10 times volume. So what is that? 30 billion? No, that's supply.
So the volume is $340,000 in the last 24-hour period, which is not tiny. Let me see what I gotta see what SPS is now.
2.2.
2.2 mil.
Oh, for the volume. Yeah.
No. So the same, like roughly the same volume for SPS.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's good. That's good. I actually thought, like, from the way it was spoken about, Aggro made it seem like they were like a small community, but that looks like it's like a comparable daily volume. 347 thou, 377 thou. Look at this number over here. Splinter Shard all-time high 1.26. That would be crazy if we got back there in anything resembling the near future. I mean, I would be buying a piece of land or something, that's for sure.
And I ain't greedy. Give me 30 cents.
Today, actually 2 weeks from now, May 27th is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Small digression. 10,000 Bitcoin for, I think, 2 large pizzas. Selling my SPS for 30 cents to me is like the beginning of a future, like a Bitcoin pizza moment. I can't imagine selling my SPS like in a major way. Maybe like I said, taking some off the table here and there until we're in that $1+ range. That but a little slice here or there for like a Reno or some sort of real life cost, sure. But 126, like $2, like that's where I'm kind of long term imagining. But Chibi Dinos, yeah, it looks like it's a sound. There's really, like, we're putting nothing into it. They're paying us for this effort. And it's this creation of like this, it's the first of this, what did they call it? Software development kit, SDK, right? They want to put a package together where they can essentially enable any company to come along and just replicate an NFT experience, an NFT blockchain game. And so through that's that Invenium project that they mentioned. Let's pull up the actual town hall. This is all Chatter's notes. Chibi Dinos plus the Invenium. Chibi Dinos wants to build a new game, and they came to us for help. We built GLG from scratch, and we're replicating that process by starting Invenium, our platform to help other people build. Invenium is the template of the code base. And so it can be reused and reused and reused. And Chibi will be using that template to build their game. So it's this, and then out of that partnership, because one, we're offering them a service and they're paying a fee, then there's this marketing collaboration that comes out of the two economies, the two player bases getting to know each other. I had never heard of it. Jim, you had never heard of Chibi Dinos?
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about it.
I think probably at least 9 out of 10 people playing Splinterlands had no idea what this thing was. And so this is great, man. It's great. And it took the town hall to really, I think, reveal how little it was cost wise and how great it was opportunity wise, I think.
Now, how do I get free stuff?
That's right.
I want free tokens.
Didn't they say that SPS stakers might get some sort of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was something like that. You know, SPS stakers will ultimately get some sort of, I don't know, opportunities maybe. Maybe it's just like NFT purchase opportunities or whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So that was cool. I'm excited by that.
Whoa, did I just see something about Diablo?
There was a comment about Diablo.
There it is.
It's a good game, but it's not made to be investment, more than a Diablo pay to win, big PP kind of game.
All right. I mean, I don't even know what they're talking about, but
like the PP.
Yeah.
You like it when I'm going to refrain from making that joke. Are they planning on moving Dino to Hive? I don't
think so.
I think it's more like the new game. If I understood correctly, it's like Dino Hoop or there's a new element of what they're doing that's going to be on our SDK, which I think means through Hive. But they didn't explicitly say that. Steve, yeah, more trading. If the token maybe, but the big thing is that you can sell 10K into credits without slippage. That's pretty crazy. So you can earn Hoop by playing their thing, I guess. And then you can, like he says, acquire credits for your Splinterlands funding. Just like I was alluding to earlier with Splinterforge and what Gathering the Magic is doing with his one Hive account. He has certain cards, he plays them in rank and earns certain soulbound reward cards or whatever. And then he uses all of those collections to unlock a little bit extra value through Splinterforge, but then he rolls back into Splinterlands and grows that account. And Steve's saying the same thing with maybe Dino Chibis or whatever.
Okay.
I'm excited by it. I don't know if I think I might like I said, I'm just kind of right now for the first time ever expanding what I'm touching in this space. And I think I will give it serious attention for a season and see where that goes, if you know what I mean. Illustios, not a big fan of the ETH chain when it comes to Web3. Too much useless fees. Yeah, of course. But I guess Dino Chibis is on the ETH, and I didn't know that. So is it be an ERC20? Aggro didn't seem to know. He was like, it's either an ERC20 or whatever the other one is on the Binance. Yeah, they now see that they can do more than sports games. They needed a new name. I see. Why are the NFTs on ETH and the coin on BSC? Dude, I hope I can get an answer to that. I don't know. I don't understand either. Yeah, Hive guys don't play on ETH, but man, ETH whales do wild stuff. I'm excited to see how many people are commenting about this too. Like it's like you guys are interested in this partnership and the financial opportunity, or not opportunity, financial, just like the stirring of the pot that this might bring. Oh, cool. I didn't see Tails' video. Tails did a video, got him super hyped. when he went through the list of games that are built on Unity, games that could potentially be brought onto the Inventium platform. I think it's Invenium, but yeah, I thought it was Inventium when they spoke about it in the town hall, but then here in the blog post it says Invenium. I don't know which is which. This could be a typo. They might have misspoke in the live. Either way. Did you hear about Pepe coins, Jim?
No.
Pepe coin. Let's look this up.
If it's something, I need it.
Look at Pepe coin. Pepe coin. Is this the one though? There's probably, look, he's got his little mega hat on. Oh, I shouldn't even say that. Like YouTube's like demonetize. Look at this though. Market cap nearly $1 billion. And
wait a minute. It's on. Hold the. Well, BRB. I gotta go get some PP coin.
Look, April 17th, literally like less than a month ago, this thing, the volume, let's see, can I see the volume is like 65, what? How is it 65 million? How is that even a thing? This thing came out of the gates soaring with the volume. And is that 65,000? Okay, 100,000. Yeah, no, that's $67 million daily volume for this coin at that time. And in less than a month, the volume's gone bonkers. And it's had like this blow off top, exponential, like parabolic rise to, I don't even know. I think that might be, let's see, 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 6 zeros. So it 44x'd or more in like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. That's crazy. And the volume is there sufficient to which 300,000 daily average volume, sufficient to the point where if you had bought, you know, if you'd aped in for some crazy reason, you actually would have been able to exit. Now, I didn't. I'm not gonna. I definitely don't think anybody should buy it now, but because this looks like the parabolic move is done and behind us. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I definitely
when
not.
did this coin come out?
I'm not touching it. It looks like it came out on April 17th.
Within a month?
Yeah.
I'm putting everything I own into it.
Selling all the SPS, he says.
Yep. Literally best financial advice I can give you right now is get into PP coin.
I love the little logo. How did this thing even get going? I heard about it and I thought Agro had mentioned it in the town hall and he was like, this is just funny that this is so crypto that something like this would just happen. Like in the middle of a bear market, or yeah, in the middle of a bear market, that we're just going to see this explosion for this one ridiculous coin. But Steve mentioned Wong and Ben, and I don't know those. I shouldn't feature this. You can get me in trouble, Steve. Somebody's gonna like ape into Wong and then lose everything. Ben.
Holy cow. Never mind. I'm not buying any.
There's 2 different Ben, so I don't even know which one it would be. But those are up
for some.
Yeah.
For some reason, gas fees on Ethereum to buy $13 worth is $88.
That's so crazy.
You want to tell me how that makes sense?
How are people still using Ethereum? That's what doesn't make sense.
I hate Ethereum so much.
How are people using Ethereum when things like Hive exist? I don't understand. Like, okay, the users are there. Why are the users there? Like, what's going on right now? You want to pay $80 for a gas fee?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in the chat explain this to me. I know the users are there and that's why people build on it, but why are the users there? Is it simply because they trust Ethereum? And if so, I mean, frankly, why? Like, I mean, why can't you? I just don't get that. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, this is such a superior blockchain. It's just on every level. Yeah. Ethereum is having a future fork, and I think didn't they already implement staking? But I mean, still, man, Cryptozard, and Bex. Dude, I've been watching some of your guys' videos lately. I like your intro. Ilistios. Hype system is great for that. Low fees. It's nonsense. People love hype. Yeah, they love the hype, man. When a meme coin goes wild like that, it's like, well, look at what happened with Doge. Like the only last bull market, one of the only coins that really did that crazy parabolic move was Doge. Ruse meme coin. Yeah, that's what we need. The problem is with these meme coins, you think, first of all, it happened so fast. That was 3 weeks. And what ends up happening is most people get they get roasted. Sorry. What's that?
I said sorry. I sneezed.
It happens so fast, most people get roasted. It's because the cash is there to turn thousands into millions. Yep. Hive only fixes the most of the problems of the blockchain and has a dedicated community. It's not a meme though. No. Yeah, it does fix most of the problems. Happy enjoying the... Yeah, guys, check it out. Cryptozard and Bex. Quality Splinterlands content. Brandon, why ETH? First mover advantage, easy access. I knew somebody was going to say first mover advantage. Simple wallets, deepest pool of dev talent. Why are the devs there? Brandon, why are the devs there? Like, just everybody, the devs and the amount of, because presumably you want to attract millions and millions of players to your game or to your app, and in order to do so, you're almost telling certain people you can't participate because you're going to need to pay at sometimes significant fees. And I know you know this. I think everybody here knows this. I think he's right though. It really is just the first mover advantage. That's like they were here, and people aren't willing to bet against. They're not willing to bet against that first mover. Whereas they might put small bets on like a Hive or whatever other coins, proof of stake or different different blockchains that have opportunities to do the same thing in the future. But they just aren't willing to really bet the farm on it. They just play small bets there. Robert has some feedback. He goes, if it makes me nervous that people like you and Jim are thinking about expanding beyond Splinterlands in this space, if enough of us start thinking that Splinterlands assets tank, I don't think that's true at all. I mean, the first thing is, this game used to thrive with 1,000 participants, and we have 40, 50, 60, 70,000 daily active accounts right now. And this is like in the depths of the bear market. And I'm convinced that in the next bull market, we're going to see, I don't know, I haven't actually put this thought out yet in my mind even, but I think we had 400,000 daily active accounts last bull market, 500,000 even. I bet we have 1 million next bull market. And I bet content creators like myself and Jim, if you want to like keep running the channel and keep doing, whether it's Splinterlands TV, I know you're stepping back, but like your own stuff or whatever, got some of the accounts, some of the people that are doing stuff here now with like hundreds of viewers are going to have thousands. And some of us who have thousands are going to have tens of thousands, because in my view, this is the beginning of something revolutionary. And I think it is by no means, this isn't some sort of delicate baby that we have to prop up through, some sort of false, I don't know, exclusionism or something. Like, it doesn't have, like, I just don't see it. I don't see it that way at all. Jim, what do you think about that? It makes me nervous that people like you and Jim are thinking about expanding beyond Splinterlands. If enough people start thinking that Splinterlands assets tank, what do you think about that?
I think it's kind of a different thing, because it's not like we're selling a bunch of stuff to just get out of the game. It's a reallocation of funds. So it's like I'm still going to be sitting on a bunch of SPS.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne's going to be sitting on a bunch of SPS. He might even have packs. Get rid of some stuff doesn't equate to getting rid of, everything. And yeah, sure, there can be some other people that also want to sell cards, but that's also how it goes, right? But it is, in a way, it is true, because if we're all putting these cards out onto the market, then the prices will go down because now there's just more supply out there onto the market, especially if the demand itself doesn't change.
Yeah.
So yes, he isn't wrong, but I also don't see it being, correct.
Yeah. He isn't wrong in the sense that if players who love this game, who are dedicated to it, who have been part of the, let's say, rallying cry to what Splinterlands is, myself included, if we started coming out and being like, I'm selling all my cards and I'm liquidating so I can go play another title, that would be a problem. But here's the thing. First of all, that's not on the table. Like, even with Jim, what Jim's talking about is like, he wants more SPS. And I think we all agree that we SPS we want more buyers of SPS. And then you say, well, we don't want more sellers of cards. Well, in certain situations, like for the examples I gave, I sold one kitty and paid for a trip. I sold one Summoner Lux Vega and paid for a renovation. And you're not talking about millions of cards. You're not talking about even dozens of cards. You're talking about literally 2. And then when I talk about what I did with Golem Overlord, which I'm enjoying, I think I put $120 into this game. And that's including the initial staff or whatever that I bought. And that's not taking away from my Splinterlands. And then we're talking about Splinterforge. I'm talking about putting $50 in like later this week. So I think either maybe a misunderstanding or possibly an overreaction to this suggestion that like we are interested in looking at other things. And I really strongly believe if Splinterlands requires everyone to never sell, that isn't a reward for your time and attention. That isn't a game, that's a sink. So I strongly reject the suggestion that Jim, myself, or even a guy like One Day, Matt, or Aggroed should have the capacity to sell. Let's hope that's not anytime soon. But you know what I mean? Like we can't start building these walls of our game is only safe as long as no one sells. There is no revolutionary element to this thing. There is no reward for your time and attention. That's what I talk about all the time. There's reward here for your time and attention. That isn't true if the expectation is never sell. And so I firmly disagree with that suggestion. Plus, it's not true that we're like, trying to leave or stop covering this or anything like that. It's like we want to have more fun in this space that we think is revolutionary.
Steve kind of puts up a good point here. He says, I still say the 50K, he put DEC, but I'm pretty sure he meant SPS, to stake 5 guys as hurting cards. I mean, why buy the cards if you don't have the 10K SPS to stake them?
He's talking about on land. You're going to need to put 10K DEC per card.
Okay.
And so he's thinking that it's going to hamper the amount of cards that are going to be poured into land, which is going to hamper the sales of cards and therefore restrict the impact of land on the card market. Because we have this opportunity for land to be this huge sinkhole for cards and therefore drive card prices up. But the DEC thing puts kind of almost a limiter on that. What do you think about that?
Okay. Yeah, when I first read it, I thought he was talking about like the SPS delegations.
Yep.
Which is kind of what I wanted to talk about. But for the land, I wasn't even really thinking about it.
Well, I think he's right a little bit. he is right that if we have to put 10k DC for every monster, like maxed out monster that we put onto land,
Mhm.
then we are necessarily saying land is kind of for richer people, right? We're moving closer and closer to peg. We're talking 10k DC is going to be, we're hoping 10k DC is going to be $10.
Yeah.
So we're talking $50 worth of DC being staked. It's not spent, it's not burnt, it's not gone. But it's going to be locked up into each plot of land. And some people have 1,000 plots, 2,000 plots. I have 23 plots. Like, you know, that adds up real fast. 23 plots times 50 thou.
Yeah.
We're talking 1.15 million, and that's not even 1.515. What were we divided by? That's $1,150 just to stake into my land. So then you have to almost agree with them that that is going to limit the number of full cards or like the sort of card sink that land will represent. And so the game is kind of caught between a pressure, aren't they? They want to create sink opportunities for cards and to get them off the market so card prices go up. But they also want to create sink opportunities for DC so the DC price returns to peg. And they're trying to do both in this one moment. And I see his point. I don't know if I don't know if I don't know what's going to happen when land launches, but we're going to find out in like literally a month. 1.5.
You know, it actually won't be too bad because the people who are putting that much on it, you know, they're probably going to get more rewards than what they're getting now, because there's going to be some people, like you said, that just can't afford to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some lands out there that aren't being fully staked on.
Mm-hmm. And to my knowledge, it's not 10,000 DC per card. It's actually some reflection of the card quality you're choosing. So if you put like a smaller card, then you actually need less DC staked on it. But then, of course, you've got less production power, which means you're getting, like you just said, Jim, you're getting less reward, which means someone else like Steve is going to get more reward. I was talking to Gathering the Magic too, and this is a topic he mentioned. He's like, he's convinced that most people will not fully satisfy their card requirements on land. And that probably is a product of what Steve's saying, the DEC requirement, but also it's a comment on the fact that many landholders don't have 5 amazing maxed out cards even to put into their land. Like, you know, guys like Gathering the Magic, I think he said 6 plots, and he has like a silver deck, I think. And so he doesn't have, you know, 11 BCX legendaries, and he certainly doesn't have 11, you know, max level gold foil alpha, you know, promo legendaries or whatever. So most people will under support, like inadequately support their plot of land. Is that enough? Is that sort of halfway support going to be substantial enough to move card prices and DC closer to peg? That's the question. I'm glad you mentioned that though, Stephen. I'm glad you called that one out, Jim. But you said you wanted to speak a bit about the SPS staking, and you thought that was going there. Does it help? What were you going to say about that?
So I was kind of thinking, like, if you stake on players, right, you're getting rewards for your SPS staked onto them, but you're also kind of losing rewards if, let's say, you were playing, because if those people were in the same league as you, right, they are now getting full rewards versus, you know, you getting a percentage of whatever it is that they're missing.
Mm-hmm.
So even delegating SPS onto people in a way slows down your, you know, is hurting the SPS that you have and your ROI on it. In a way.
Delegating your SPS to others is going to increase their returns
Hmm.
from their performance and thereby decrease your returns. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think you're right. There is only so much reward within the pool. And so
Hmm.
then if you choose to delegate SPS onto 20 different accounts and lift them up to their maximum sort of extraction levels, SPS requirements and extraction optimization or whatever you want to call it, then yeah, there's 10 or 20 more players that are going to get their full share of rewards, and that's going to diminish the total pool of rewards. So I think you're right, but
Hmm.
you will be complimented with part of their reward. So I do think it ultimately it's going to pay you.
Hmm. But
Mm,
then, also, I guess if you have 100% of that player's SPS delegation onto them, then you get 100% of however that SPS delegation reward pool works. Because then, like, you get a percentage of like how well it is they're doing. So would that make up for it? I don't know.
I think it, well, I mean, I'm expecting it will. I don't know
Mm,
if I'm off base, but my expectation is that it would like it would satisfy what you've surrendered, if you know what I mean.
mm-hmm. SPS staked, you would still get daily SPS because you're staking it, but then from the staked page or from the SPS page, the dashboard, then you can put how you want to manage it. So it's still staked regardless. It's just where do you like you can put it on someone.
Hmm. Let's go. Lily Shield Paw. Yes or no, guys? That's the question here.
Bad card.
Bad card. No way. It's too adorable to be bad. It might not be
Mm,
excellent, but it's not bad. But no, I don't play it very much. I'm glad I sold several units of it back when the price was higher. Um, I saw a. I like in context like this where you get the heavy hitters, you focus fire them with the camouflage, and you put an immunity in the front, and so if he had done a real stunner attack, like he can't stun me.
mm, yeah.
I think we got this one. I kind of got lucky with a few of those chaos dragon blasts landing and just eating that Dr. Blight for life. Oh, and then the Sandman down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this one's over. Chalk went up for the good guys.
It's
But
game over, man. It's game over.
I gotta watch that again. I can't wait to watch classic movies with my kids that I definitely can't right now, such as Aliens. But
Mm-hmm.
even like I watch Star Trek with my daughter Hazel, like I did maybe 6 months ago. She's turning 9 this week, and I guess she's probably 8, just turned 8, and I'm watching some Star Trek with her. I thought maybe this would be cool. She'd like it. I love it. But she comes to me one night. She says, "Daddy, it's too scary." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, babe. Of course, like we don't have to watch it." But I look forward to a season of life where I'm going to be able to enjoy some of those amazing classics that are a little maybe scary.
Mm-hmm.
That you just need that level of maturity to be able to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Elistio, selling cards right now makes no sense really, at least at the current market price. That's how people buy high, sell low, and wonder why they never make money investing. I'm with you, Elistios, for sure. Jim, but yeah, the one thing you have to always remember, because okay, so there's two sides to this coin. This is a fun conversation, and it speaks into your thoughts around you buying some SPS, Jim. So let's hear what you
Yep.
think about this. But here's something I try and tell people. Look, just because your asset, your card, let's say you bought $10,000 worth of Splinterlands cards, and you bought it, and now it's worth $5,000, and you've lost half your value. And you could say on one hand, I can hold these cards for the next year or so and watch them reappreciate because I believe that will happen, and then maybe expand, like it'll be worth more. during a bull market that I think is coming than it used to cost me. And definitely more than it is valued at today. So it was 10, it's now 5. I think it'll go to 20. That might be your thesis, your expectation. And on the one hand, that's a fair conclusion, and you could just make that bet and lie in it. That's what, just that's your expectation. That's what you bought. That's what you're willing to wait for, and just be patient and do what you're saying. That's kind of what I'm hearing from you, Listios. But here's the thing. Just because you bought at 10 and it's now worth 5 doesn't mean it is without merit to consider liquidating. You sometimes want to take an L on one match because it's going to give you a new opportunity through the liquidity that it then puts into your, wallet to then open some new door. And at the same time as the cards have moved from, let's say, 10 to 5, and I don't know if that's entirely accurate. I think, yeah, maybe it is about accurate. I think my 100,000 account moved to about 50,000. So let's say you had 10,000, it moved to 5. Today you wanted to move it all into SPS. Well, SPS was $1.26, a year and a half ago or whatever it was, whenever it launched. And now it's 2 cents. And so there's actually, even in taking a loss on card assets, you can move into a different position that has fallen faster proportionally to what you're already in. And then it can be in that way, it can be a 2 steps forward with one step back. Jimmy, anything to add on that one?
Yeah, 100%. You have to look at when it was that you bought, right? Like, even if we say you bought $5,000 worth of cards back when SPS was about 13 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. And cards have, let's say, they dropped in half since then. Sure, it feels bad to sell your cards for now 2.2K, but it's not like you're putting it into the bank and, you're just going to blow this money. You're going to, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinvest it into SPS that, again, has gone even lower than 50% from where that moment was.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have so much more, room for growth at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we look at it in terms of flat SPS, comparison to when it was the 13 cents, you're getting so much more than, when it goes back to that point. Let's say all your cards double again, but then SPS goes back to 13 cents. Were you better off selling your cards at that point, putting into SPS and climbing back to 13 cents, or doubling your card value back to its original state?
Mm-hmm.
So you're either 2x on your cards or 6x on SPS.
Yes. I think, though, it's a little more complicated because the cards allow a revenue generating opportunity, whether it's through land or play or tournaments or like we said earlier, Splinter Forge, because it's the same deck of cards. So there's differing. So there's a component that makes it a little more complicated, but
yes.
But there's also a thing where SPS is far more liquid. And so if you want to sell, like, let's say we get to a place one day where SPS is $1 or $2 or something crazy, moving 100,000 units of SPS to liquidate is going to be quicker, easier, more taxably trackable, which is important if you're getting like a major payday. You need to be able to justify that to your tax agency in your country. And if you can show them, look, I had X amount of SPS in my account and here's records of dating back a year plus, that ends up being, at least in Canada, a really clean transaction, whereas it becomes far more complicated when it's a non-fungible token like a card. So there's a more complicated conversation here for sure. And there's benefits to doing what Jim is talking about doing. And I also do see, I don't think the example is as clean as the cards could double or the SPS could 6x. I think the XPS could easily 10, 20 cents in my mind. Those are very attainable numbers. And that would be so transformative for you as with a plan that you're talking about. But then I also think the cards could do something far greater than double. I think as some of the other guys in the comments are saying, Ivan goes, we are still here very early. And later he also said something similar again. I don't know. Forget, I can't find it right now, but another comment around the same idea. We're here so early. And it's like, if we have 50,000 daily active accounts right now, do we have 30,000 human people? I don't know. Is it 15,000? I don't know what it is. But I really think we could get to a place one day where we have 1 million. And the transformation that would imply to market cap, for SPS, yes, but for card acquisition, and some of these cards being amazing and overpowered, and even rental revenues, like it's unfathomable, literally. Like we can't imagine how big it could appreciate, in my mind. And so, but I get the thing that you're doing, and I think it makes a lot of sense. But circle back, Alistios, where was it? Alistios is kind of siding with Robert a little bit, and he goes, where'd it go? If everyone sells at the same time, though, it's a bank run. And earlier Robert said, I'm good with that, Jim selling cards for SPS, but selling cards to buy into Golem Overlord hurts SPS Splinterlands as an ecosystem. And Ilicios agrees. But again, just focus for a moment on if everyone sells at the same time, though, it's a bank run. This is true. You're totally right. There's only except that it's not a bank run in the sense of like when we do an actual bank run, you're going to, JP Morgan, you're saying, I want my money, and there literally isn't enough money. And so in this context, it's not that way because this is a free market. So the cards you own are, if they were all selling at the same time, you're right, the card would shoot down to the floor. And if there was no buyers, you're right, the value would, in that scenario, become zero because there's so many sellers and no buyers. But it's different because we're not going to Splinterlands and saying, hey, I have this voucher for money, and therefore you, Mr. Central Bank, owe me X $100 because it's a $100 note. It's more like these cards have a free market value, and whatever card you're looking at has a price point. And right now it's $2.86 for a Soul Fiend, and that price might go up and it might go down. And you're right, if too many sellers exist, then that's a problem for the prices to be stationary, let alone go up. But the complication is, and again, I guess it has to be said yet again, like, when one person says, I mean to do X, Y, and Z, in the same way that we talked previously about the vote, like Buddy's vote, Ali's vote, like we have to be able to vote using the SPS we've accumulated. That's part of the right of being an SPS holder. We have to be able to sell the NFTs that we collect through Splinterlands, either that you've earned through time and attention or that you've bought. You have to be. If we start creating these arguments for, look, certain people are too big to sell and shouldn't sell, and it'll crash the market if you do sell because others will start to sell. First of all, that's actually, in my mind, that's just FUD because that's not the reality of what's happening, first of all. And second, a person has to be allowed to sell. Like these are your assets. I have a buddy who just sold his assets. He said enough is enough. And he moved within 5 days. He sold $5,000 worth of assets. I don't know, man. I can't defend. I can't see logic in. I can't see any silver lining to the suggestion that we need to be kind of careful or, hesitant about selling because we want to hold the game up. I mean, that makes Splinterlands sound really fragile. And Splinterlands not only survived this bear market, but they've survived other bear markets. And I would say we're thriving. Like these partnerships that we just talked about for 30 minutes, or, the amount we did just sell 15 million Chaos Legion packs. I know we had to kind of do some things to make that happen. And you might say it wouldn't happen if we didn't. Sure. But we moved 15 million Chaos Legion packs. And, I mean, I don't think the gloves, the baby gloves have to come on here. Like, I don't think we need to be so delicate with this thing. And I think we actually do the game and the community a disservice when we start pretending like this is really fragile and let's be careful. It's like, let's celebrate and gather around the revolutionary element of what this is. Remember, you earn for your time and attention. You receive reward, even though trivial on a daily basis. You receive that for an investment of time and attention. Let's recognize that is why this is interesting. If we start saying you can't earn because you can't sell because it'll hurt the economy, well, yes, it will drive prices down. But someone else said, and I think it might have been Alistios. So you're kind of playing both sides, I think, maybe. But Alistios said, like, well, when you said selling cards right now makes no sense. They're at a lower price. It's like buying high to sell low, and that's why we never make money. I think that point is almost the opposite side. It's like you shouldn't sell right now, but for the reason that it's at a low, as opposed to you shouldn't sell because it'll hurt the economy. I think one of those arguments makes a lot of sense, and the other one is quite weak, unfortunately. I think, yeah, if I was going to say you shouldn't sell, it'd be because of this reason, because these are lows. And I think we're going to, everything you sell today, I think you're one day going to come to regret, even if, like Jim said earlier, he might be moving into something where he's going to have this awesome opportunity. I think he's probably right about that. But I do think one day you're going to say, man, I wish I had X, Y, and Z cards, and I can't anymore because they're now too expensive.
Yeah, I definitely see that. But I don't think I'm going to be upset when I have 1 million SPS and it goes to $1, Dwayne. I don't think I'm going to be that mad.
That's I can see that. And you'll probably buy some of them back. Like you'll get to a place where you're like, yeah, okay, I do want that. But there might also come a time, even now, like let's see, where is she? Kitty. This card is so awesome, and I love it, and it has a special place in my heart. I'm probably never buying this thing back again. Even though the price that I sold it for is roughly the same price that it's selling for now. I think I just am never, I'm going to always say, even if I have $1 million from Splinterlands, I'm probably going to say, you know what? I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a card. Like, I'm just not. And there's a different player maybe that wants that collectible and wants to fill out the collection. Love it. I think for me, I'm probably going to say, I think I'm never going to own another kitty. And I kind of like, I'm disappointed about that because there's a collector in me, but I often tell that collector to shut up because like you're not in the driver's seat. I got to I got to pay bills. I got to like, you know what I mean? There's multiple sides of it.
Yep.
Oh, lots of comments now. Oski's out there. Icy's blowing up the chat. I don't know where to pick it up exactly. Anything you're seeing, Jim, that from the chat that you want to get into? This is cool. I like this, Alistios. Everyone is emotional right now and selling out of panic and grief. But in less than a month, people will clean the market of cards to put on lands, and then the price will surge again, and you'll lose. I think this is probably true, and I like this. This is like a bull argument. It's like, don't screw around and sell your cards because you'll regret it, as opposed to, which sounds like the other side of it. The other side of that coin is like, don't sell it because the economy can't handle it. And if that's true, we should be scared about being here. If the other side of this is true, you know what I mean? Like, if we can't sell because it might spook the economy, that is actually terrifying. So I don't believe that. I do believe what Ilistios is saying here. People do want to sell because they're scared right now. The price of SPS is lower, or cards have been dipping, and they're like, oh, is it going to go lower? Is it going to go lower? And not me. I'm like acquiring more and more. Like I said, I've been stacking SPS. I went recently from 100 to 107 just through play, but I'm not selling that. And the small sales I have made, I literally 2 cards in the last 3 years of any note, and then $50 into Splinterforge is not going to move the needle on Splinterlands, or $100 into Golem Overlord is not going to move the needle. Plus, I think these games are kind of fun and I'm enjoying them. And I think they have an opportunity in and of themselves to have an outsized return. So then it gets into a conversation of, well, if it's not going to hurt me in my journey in Splinterlands and it's going to give me this open door for something that could be really special in the future, that's where I start getting excited. And things like Golem Overlord or Splinterforge, people aren't taking seriously. Like most people aren't taking Splinterlands seriously. And I would argue that Golem Overlord and Splinterforge and probably Dino Chibi and Tower Defense when that properly launches, I think they're all going to be inadequately respected. There's going to be a lack of community. There's going to be a lack of money being circulated in it. And that's where those crazy outsized opportunities come from for just that time, that investment of time and attention, because you're going to get those daily rewards that are trivial in nature from those games too. And you already are with Forgium when you play Splinterforge, or Part when you're playing Golem Overlord. And people think, oh, the price is falling and it's going down, it's going to die. It's like, okay, if you think so, I'm quietly going to play it in the background. And in 4 years, I bet I'm going to be very happy that I did. And that's the story that I experienced with Splinterlands. And I'm saying I'm willing to put $100 bet on it. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, Splinterlands is my game. I've got $60,000 worth of assets in this thing. No more. Land. I got 23 plots of land. I got 3 validator nodes. I got 700 Chaos Legion packs. I got $55,000 worth of cards. I'm in here and I'm not going anywhere, but there's more fun to be had. Let's recognize the revolution in front of us, and let's not live in a mindset of scarcity and anxiety or doubt. Let's recognize what we have in front of us, and let's be excited about that and come at it from a posture of, like Listios just said in that last comment, like, you're going to regret it. I love that, dude. That's good stuff.
One thing to remember about that, right?
Yeah.
Cards go up in value.
Yeah.
SPS is going to go up in value because people will see that their card went up a lot.
Yeah.
And then if they go buy SPS when it's still at the 2.2 cents mark, but like more people are going to see that happening, now they're just going to start buying more SPS.
Uh-huh.
It's like when one thing goes up, everything else also goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like, I wouldn't be really worried about selling my stuff right now and getting SPS.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I think Steve agrees with you a little bit. He's like, the other reason for Jim's play is if we are right on an SPS is $1 or $3, will that change your life? If no, you don't have enough for that life-changing play. That's kind of an exciting, I love that line of thinking. Let's really understand what this is. And again, like I always say, if I'm wrong about this game being fun or having a future, if I think I'm off about my confidence, my reasons for being bullish here, okay, show me that, because I actually want to see that red flag as I talk. And I know Oscu's in the chat, and he's one of my guys who's like, he's got that little bit of bearish element. And others too, like you've seen me respond to them. It's great. Let's listen to these guys and let's see if we think that they see something. But man, I'm confident for a million reasons. Like Alistio said, man, June 15th, middle of June, land 1.5. What's going to happen there? I do think Steve's probably right. And Gathering the Magic too. There isn't going to be as many cards as we want to go into land that will go into land, because the DEC requirements are going to hamper some of that. But man, there's going to be a good amount of cards that disappear like overnight. And that's going to help our prices on cards. Plus the DEC going into land being staked, not burnt, is going to be a lockup mechanism, which is going to affect the SPS return. Okay. I don't know if it's going to return to peg, but it almost certainly will move toward peg. And that is a positive again, because if we can get there, we're going to get that flywheel happening. So it's just, that's two things, but there's just so many things to be positive about. And so, yeah.
Hey, real quick, was it 150,000 lands were produced, or
Yes.
was it a smaller number?
150,000.
All right, so then you take that and times it by what, 50,000 for
Yeah.
per
Yeah, that's
card?
right. Times 50,000. Yeah.
So that's how much DEC in theory will be locked away.
It is, but it also isn't, because remember, not every land plot will do that.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, in theory, it could go that high.
It could, yep.
So it'll be anywhere from 1 or 10,000 DEC to 7.5 billion DEC gone.
That's all the DEC, literally.
Yep.
Like,
well, locked away.
yeah. But, and then the cards too, you're talking about 150,000 times 5 cards is 750,000, but it's not 750,000 cards, because it's actually, some of those cards are going to be commons, which means that each of them is times 400. So you're talking like potentially, you're talking 100,000 million, 300 million max level common cards. 300 million max level. Right? Is that right? No, BCX, I mean. Sorry, my bad. 300 million BCX of common card. And so but the number changes if you use rare or if you use epic, or if you, right? Because there's different to get the max level or whatever. Plus, you don't have to use a max level card. I get that. You could just throw one BCX onto a card and call it a day. Some people will. But again, like you said earlier, Jim, if people do that, those who own land and who use it fully or optimally will have an even greater benefit. So that'll be me. I know that'll be Steve. It'll be some of us who are out there in the community who have a few plots of land and are going to make sure you saturate them to the best of your ability. And we are going to benefit as people fail to do that. And so it's like, it's like, it really is win-win. It's like either the DEC and the cards get just deleted in the form by soaked up by the land, and just there's no more supply, and that's amazing. It's exciting. It does good things for price. Or that, there isn't as many DEC and cards being put into the land, but then you as a player who own land will benefit greater from your land because you adequately equip your land, right? So it's either you benefit one, or coming or going, like you're going to get it. Like if you have land and if you are planning on using it fully. About 12 more minutes, guys. If you haven't already, dropped the like. Appreciate that. We've been getting about like 40 likes on the on our these public lives, and I really appreciate it, every one of them. Amazing, guys. Like some of the videos lately have been like 1,000+ views. One the other day was a good little one. Who was that? What was that one about? Just quickly. Look at this, 1,200 views. Bot bans will drive cards to zero. And this was just like a direct question. It wasn't like a prediction. It was a question from somebody, and I got the chance to answer it. He was speculating, Jim, I don't know if you saw this one, but he was speculating that bot bans will eliminate a huge audience of people, and they'll accounts, and those accounts will sell their cards because they can't play, and that'll drive cards to zero. Like he said zero. I clearly don't think that's, I think there's a lot, like Alistio said earlier, a lot of people are nervous right now for a variety of reasons. There's a ton of reason to be optimistic, but it's always been about patience, and it's always been about years, not days or weeks or even months. And since this channel really kind of turned and became like what you guys have helped make it become, it's been, I think, 2 years. So it was always the aim of like 4 or 5 years, like the next full bull market, because you needed time to prepare. You need time to invest the time and attention to get those dailies that sounded like nothing, to earn, right now earning 1, 2, 3 SPS a win and being like, it's only 6 cents. Yeah, but one day that might be $9 that you got for a single win. 3 SPS, $3 each, $9 for a single win. Yes, you received the SPS in 2023 and the payday doesn't come until maybe 2027 or something. I don't know. But can you wait? Like, I can wait that long. Can we be patient and recognize that if this is going to go where the team is aiming, holy cow, that life altering opportunity is in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I worry about with your play, Jim?
What?
So if you sell all your cards and you buy all the SPS and you think to yourself, okay, I'll ride SPS to $1 or something and it'll change my life. The thing about having a liquid asset like SPS is that you will be able to easily say, wow, 30 cents, you know, that's meaningful. I have 500,000 SPS. Let's imagine I have 500,000 SPS and wow, it's at 30 cents today. That's 150 grand US. And you start saying by now you're dating some pretty girl and you're like, you're going to get engaged and you're like, you know what? Like, I want to get her, I want to get her a nice ring, or I want to take her on a nice honeymoon. And then suddenly SPS is going out the door, because it's easy to move. But conversely, you've got a collection of cards in Splinterlands and it's giving you these trivial rewards, these soulbound reward cards that are worth nothing. It's giving you quote unquote nothing. I don't believe that, but there's no price on them today. So call it nothing. Or, you know, SPS, which is 2 cents each. And you think, well, who cares? But they all are adding up and it's so much harder to step out of an accumulation of cards that I think there's almost these handcuffs that are gold. Maybe they're like solid gold handcuffs that I'm chained to in some sense with Splinterlands by having a deck of cards that one day I'm going to like be able to like move out of slowly or partially to really benefit. Whereas, what do you think about that? Like, is it going to be tempting? Is it going to be really easy to just step out of the, what do you think?
I've been saying for a bit, right? Like when everyone else is talking about dollar SPS and I say, I'm not greedy, I'll be happy with 30 cents. You know, like, yeah, it's definitely something that has jumped to my mind. And yeah, 150K is it's not a ridiculous amount of money, right? It's not a ridiculous amount, but it is enough to really set me up a lot in life. Because I would then just turn around and invest that into dividend stocks, and that's given me a really good passive income that I could use to either compound into more or, you know, do something else with. I also have thought about if it gets to that point and I still diamond hands, right? I'm fine with the amount of SPS that I'm getting daily and just selling that and turning that into every day I get like $100. Next day, $100. Next day, $100. I will not be mad about doing that at all either.
Yeah, because if you're getting, so you're saying like staking requirement, like 20%, you know, you're getting an APR that you'd be able to liquidate and move into relatively easily too. Like, cause I've in what that might look like for now is you would move your SPS to Hive Engine, you'd sell it for Hive, you'd move your Hive over to Binance, you'd sell the Hive for Bitcoin, and then you might just literally cash it out through whatever exchange you use. And within 20 minutes, maybe within 30 minutes, you could be receiving that daily payment of whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of wild. I've never really thought about doing that. That's kind of cool. I like this comment from Icy. He goes, there's not enough FUD in this space right now. I want lower card prices so I can buy more. Bring the FUD.
Right. I'm always joking around and being like, guys, this game's going to the ground. No more moon. It's going 6 feet below. Sell me all your stuff for a penny.
Yeah.
I'll buy it right now.
I don't think I'm being bought. This is kind of,
A penny each.
this is something I've been thinking about too. Icy goes, land will take over the rental market from being bot dependent. Yeah, if land, it's exciting to think about the card soak that comes out of land, and it's exciting to think what that does to rental prices of cards, because yes, people will rent cards to put them onto the land. And Matt said that that's going to have to be coded in a way where you have to even agree. Like as a card owner, you might say, well, no, I don't want you to be able to stake it into the land because it'll be like a cooldown period with land or something like that. Again, the details are not 100% clear to me, but something like that. And so, but I think he's right that it will have an impact on the price of cards on the rental market, which almost necessarily, I think directly, has an impact on the card of the price, the price of the card itself. So if the rental profit of a card shoots up, that should have a direct impact on the sale value of the card. So it could be something where by late June, we're seeing notable price appreciation on our decks of cards. It could be that soon. That's why recently, if you don't follow me on Twitter, guys, please do. I just posted one like the other day, just like tracking, I think maybe this may be important to document. So I'm tracking my card prices in US dollar for Splinterlands, May 5th, 2023. And I just went through alpha, beta, promo, reward. And I want I want this delineated, like separated out so that I can actually understand how are my alphas doing? Are they mooning right now? So if I can see those waves, I can react and I can make moves within it. You might recognize if it's delineated properly, you might see sell opportunities. You might see moonshots that you can move from one option into another. Maybe reward cards are far undervalued, or dice or whatever. And so this to me is a way to kind of get a bit more granular with it. So I'm going to be doing that on like maybe a weekly basis. It's for my own purposes, but I also want to do it so you guys think about that, because I think this is one of the ways that we're going to be able to see for ourselves what's going on with our own card supply and the prices for it. And then maybe that informs some actions. Maybe I sell maybe my reward cards are pumping 50, they're up double or triple or something like that. Maybe that causes you to sell something and move into packs, or to move into some SPS, or to cash something out. Tracking it, I think, is valuable, and so I'm going to be doing that over the next little bit here. And one more thing while I'm on Twitter here, I've been doing more content over here on Hive. Like, at least I'm sharing some of the same stuff I'm going to be putting on Splinterlands. But what I'm doing is occasionally lately I've been recording a lot, or I've been doing a lot more clips or a lot more separate videos, and so I will at times put stuff on Hive that doesn't get put elsewhere. And other times I'll put content on here before it goes even to YouTube. So if you don't follow me on Hive, please do. You might find that you'll get access to content a little bit sooner. And also, if you have Hive Power, I appreciate the upvotes. It's one more way you could support the channel without necessarily even costing you anything. Jim, it's been 2 hours, buddy. You want to say anything before we go?
There comes a point in every person's life where you have to reconsider what is going on in your life and find out what it is that you want. All right. I guess he's just going to learn how to reconsider his life. All right.
I'm going to put up an appropriate visual for everyone to...
And, you can have advice from people around you, but in the end, you have to listen to your gut and what you think is going to be best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Amen.
And if there's one thing I've learned, I have to listen to my gut more.
Definitely. Absolutely. This is funny. I've never seen this before. Please tell me, are your Bitcoin generating yields? Oh no, that would have been the amount of losses, dude. The amount of losses. Still too soon. Sorry, guys. Jim, no, thanks, man. Absolutely. I'm with you, and I appreciate you sharing that with the guys. And also, I'm excited to see, like, one of these days, I think those numbers are going to happen. And Oh man, it'll be like I said, May 22nd is Bitcoin Pizza Day. There's gonna come a day where guys like Jim, where guys like me, where Steve, or some of you guys out there, like you have a bag of SPS and you're gonna sell it for 30, 40 cents. You're gonna be like, holy cow, this is crazy. And then, 10 years later, 20 years later, when you're going to be watching like, oh, Splinterlands, like, how's that doing? And I'm so confident that this thing is going to be crushing it still. And the SPS is going to be these ludicrous numbers. And 10,000 Bitcoin for a couple pizzas, guys. That's what happened. Like, I literally wrote this in my calendar. So every year I get a reminder of this fact. And I do it because I want to see this. I want to remember that somebody was like, oh, I'll trade $250 million for 2 pizzas. And I want that to like be a thought that I really wrestle with, because he had no idea that was possible. And do we walk in the same sort of like doubt about what we are participating in right now? I think we do. I think blockchain-based video games are literally a revolution for video games. It's a revolution for how we are rewarded for our time and attention. If you agree, and if you're still watching and you haven't already, please drop a like and subscribe, because you're going to want to be here while I cover it all the way to those sort of crazy moonshots. Because man, I think we're going there. But it's not days, weeks, or months away. It's years. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's trivial rewards that are happening every day, as long as you're investing the time and attention. So thanks for hanging out today, guys. Jim, thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you, pal.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
It was great, and I can't